Hi and welcome to this Yisat Torah. In this week's Soroh, we read about Avraham Avinu gets older and wants to provide a spouse for his son Yitzchak. And the Torah goes about describing Avraham Avinu, and in describing Avraham Avinu uses the following words. Ve'Avraham zaken boi bayomim. Avraham became old, coming in days. Rav Hirsch gives a beautiful explanation and a beautiful translation over here. And what he says is the following. In Hebrew, there are no synonyms. Every word has a specific meaning. So that whilst there are words that mean similar things, they don't mean exactly the same thing. And Rav Hirsch says there's a difference between the word zaken, which means old, and yashan, which also means old. So in English we'd say old and old. But in Hebrew, says Rav Hirsch, there's a very big difference. And he points, for example, when we say mipnei, that we stand up, ve'adarta pnei zaken. You get up in front of zaken, and zaken is translated by the Gemara, actually is not only somebody who is old, but rather zeh shekana chachma, the one that has acquired wisdom. And therefore, says Rav Hirsch, there's a very big difference between a zaken and somebody who's yashan. Yashan is old, it's worn, it's finished, it's tattered, it's at the end of its days, it's useless, or coming to useless. Zaken means he has acquired something. Avraham Avinu in his days became more mature, he became greater, he became bigger. Ba bayamim, his days, his experiences, and everything that he had behind him made him a greater person. The days that he had spent came along with him to make him even bigger. That's what Avraham Avinu was, and that's what Rav Hirsch says is this description over here. It is a description of a man who has grown, matured, and become something big. And that's really what we need to worry about for ourselves as well. Do we become bigger people as we go along our lives? Or do we just become people that have lived more days and then we get to the end of our lives, we're just like a worn out old rag? Is that what we really want to be at the end of our lives? Just to say, I've lived so and so many days, I've not really changed, I've not really become better, I'm no different than I was when I started, I'm just older. Or do you want to follow the Avraham Avinu way of doing things? You become bigger. Every day lived is another day of experiences, is another day of growth, is another day of becoming a bigger and a better person. So that when you reach a certain age, when you reach a certain maturity, you become mature, you become big, you become different, and you become a whole different human being. That is really our job in this world. That is what we need to strive for. And that is what we see Avraham Avinu did and shows us the way for us to be able to do it. This is really our mission. Wishing you all a very good Shabbos.